Greetings, podcast listeners. Today's episode is all about an important message I received while shooting a crossbow at my county fair. Stay tuned to find more about that and enjoy the episode.
You are listening to Let's Get Metaphysical. This podcast explores the spiritual and metaphysical world through the experiences and opinions of the host and those interviewed. It should not necessarily be seen as direct endorsement or personal advice to our listeners. We encourage you to use your own discernment, judgment, and intuition regarding anything you learn from this show.
Let's get meta.
Welcome to the Let's Get Metaphysical Podcast. I'm your host, Renata Maniaci, here to remind you that you are a big, bright, shiny soul stuffed into a human suit temporarily for this incarnation here on lovely planet Earth. Enjoy it. Today's episode is an interesting message that came through at a very unexpected moment. It is how we are all miraculously on target right now, and it came through in a very interesting way that I will get into in the episode. And we are putting this out during the Lionsgate portal of August 2021. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I do not pretend to be an astrologer, but there is some very, very powerful energy that happens right now every year. And it seems extremely pertinent to just make people aware of that right now and to allow you to ponder what you have been feeling over these last, let's say this last week, and for these next couple of days here until August 12th. Just pay attention. This energy is notably different. Without further ado, let's jump right into the episode today. Are you ready? Let's get meta. Masters and angels, I request your support and presence for this episode. Please allow anything that needs to come through to be said. Please allow whoever needs to hear this episode for it to reach them. Thank you with gratitude and full faith. So I just had a really interesting experience that I want to share. It's late. I just got back from the county fair where I grew up, and I haven't been there in years. And it was really fun. I went with one of my friends who was visiting, and it was strange. We walked in, and usually you have to pay for the fare, you have to pay for the rides, etc. And we just walked in. Nobody was there to buy tickets from or anything, and we just got in line for rides and were able to go on the bumper cars and go on the Ferris wheel and just go do what we wanted to do without tickets or without having to pay for it. It was really magical. And then we were looking for some games to play, and I found this game that is like a crossbow, and you shoot at the target, and it doesn't matter if you hit the target. You have to hit the little star, the little red star on the inside with the arrow from the crossbow in order to get a prize. It was 2 shots for $5. And I said to the lady, well, it's my birthday tomorrow. Do you think I could get an extra shot? She said, sure, why not? I said, all right, cool. I've never shot a crossbow before, and my first shot didn't even hit the target. And my second shot, while I was kind of lining up the shot, I had this thought in my head that was like, well, if I don't get this shot, then I'm going to make a prayer request and see if the Master Angels will help me hit the star on my third shot. And I shot the arrow, and it hit directly in the center of the star. And I was completely stunned, and my friends were completely stunned, and the lady that was running the booth was completely stunned. It was my second time shooting a crossbow. I think I was channeling my warrior princess lifetimes. But I think it was a good omen for my next year around the sun. And one of my friends said, yeah, I'd say you're pretty on target this year. And actually then he said, miraculously on target. And I really enjoyed that phrase, miraculously on target. I know that we're all having our own individual experiences and set of lessons and situations right now on the planet, but somehow I hope that those words ring true for all of us over these next 12 months. Miraculously on target. It really did feel like a good omen. There's no reason why I should have hit that star. Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering what the prize was, I picked out a lovely purple llama that I'm going to give to my friend's dog. Merlin is the dog's name, so I named the purple llama Morgana. That's good stuff. Very cute. Miraculously on target. And so I always contemplate things around my birthday. And I think for everyone, it's kind of the start of, some form of year, right? Even though my birthday is at the end of July, same as Harry Potter's birthday, in case you were wondering, and not at the beginning of the year. It just feels like it sets up a whole new cycle every time my birthday comes around. I'm sure you feel the same way in some respect. Miraculously on target. We are in the Lion's Gate right now, which I don't know much about how to explain that astrological happening, but it always happens between about now, or it started a few days ago, through I think August 12th. It's a very powerful time astrologically. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling it in different ways. I know I am. I was laid out flat for the last week or so, hit by some physical stuff, which is not typical for me, but it definitely felt like karmic and definitely felt kind of like upgrades that I just needed to endure and surrender to because there wasn't much else I could do. And I think that a lot of that is happening right now, just like full on surrendering to what is going on, because outwardly there is a lot of mixed feelings going on, and a lot of, I didn't realize just how much the country is still polarized until I got home a few weeks ago in Wisconsin, and how very much, if people feel like talking about politics, they're very much to one side or the other. And I was thinking in my head that people were becoming a lot more neutral and seeing a lot more that both sides are lying, and there isn't, I don't know, there's so much misinformation and so much outward lying and so much that's not being said about the truth, but it still feels very polarized here. And luckily, because people are pretty happy-go-lucky here, nobody really brings up politics, but if somebody does, you can absolutely see a very clear stance. It makes me wonder how this shift is going to happen. I keep imagining that something is going to happen or something is going to come to light that will kind of get the ball rolling for people to wake up. And by wake up, I mean just realize that we're living in a complete illusion. We completely are living in a agreed upon hallucination, almost. Like we all kind of agree to these rules of like work 9 to 5 and school from this age to this age, and this is how we have our relationships, and this is how we expect our lives to go, and this is how many kids we have. It is all an agreed upon hallucination almost, because you can make your life whatever you want it to be. These are we all kind of live in a fairly rigid structure, if you think about it, and all the infinite possibilities and all the infinite ways you could choose to spend your day, choose to live your life, choose to work or live or act or think or spend your money or not spend money. we really are very structured and rarely deviate from the lines. And you can immediately think of all the people or any people that have deviated from those lines because they stand out, because that's not a typical thing. Miraculously on target. And as I'm saying this, I'm hearing my guides say, we are miraculously on target. It is a miracle, but that where we are right now is on target. We are in the right place at this exact right moment in time. And it's a very intense moment. I hear lots of the other New Age spirituality folks talking about how we're at a precipice right now. I know that I've felt energy intensification over the last several months. I've talked about it on the podcast. But it seems that nobody knows exactly what that's going to look like in the 3D. How does that translate? We can be feeling things on all kinds of levels, but not actually know what that means for us in this 3D reality. We're at a point, it feels like anyway, that has never happened on the planet. It makes me curious. I wonder if every generation has felt like this. Has every generation felt like this? Like this is completely unknown territory and we're going into the unknown and the unseen, and we don't know what is going to become of the country and certainly what's going to become of the world. I mean, did every generation think this? I can't imagine that it felt like it does now with the pandemic and the vaccines and the this and the that and the lockdowns and the masks and it feels very unprecedented, and there's a certain amount of discomfort not knowing exactly how this is going to play out or when something is going to happen or if we're going to have to be forced to get a vaccine or if the kids will have to be wearing masks or if they're even going to be able to go back to school. I suppose what's coming through today is just this message, miraculously on target. And I do talk about the idea of trusting in the universe and surrendering to what is a lot on this show. But that's what's coming through as a reiteration. Wherever you are right now, whatever is befalling you, if you are, whatever you're doing, I'm not even going to go into examples. For me, my example was, it's been a rough year. There's been a lot happening in my personal life that has stretched me. And it's helping me to evolve faster than I would have without those experiences. And even being knocked out by some kind of physical thing for about a week there, even that, although it was painful and felt horrible, felt like, okay, I just need to get through this. This is what's being asked of right now. There's no more like, why me? Like, there's no more like, woe is me and why do I have to deal with this? Why do I have to feel this intense pain? Why do I have to lose a parent? Why do I have to this? Why do I have to that? It just is. And I feel like all of it is part of that purification process that we are each experiencing individually and as a collective. I'd just like to check in with my guidance and see what else is coming through for today. These are uncertain times ahead, but there's light at the end. These next few months, this next part of the year may feel very uncomfortable and chaotic. And this is coming from them. This isn't coming from me because I have no idea what is coming. I really don't. But uncomfortable and chaotic, and it might seem to be very messy, but they're saying there's a huge, big, bright light at the end of the tunnel and that it won't take as long as we might think it will, which is comforting. It's comforting to me. I've always kind of seen 2021, when I looked forward even from 2020, is like, ugh. That's just kind of how it felt energetically, right? Like if you look at with your foresight, with your own foresight, I don't know how this works for you, but if you look into like 2020, what is the feeling you get, right? And when you look into 2022, what is the feeling you get? Well, my feeling around 2022, and I don't know what part of 2022, but my feeling around 2022 is a lot more positive than the feelings I get around 2021. I'm not even getting pictures. I'm just getting feelings at this point. Miraculously on target. You know, the last 2 episodes that I put out were very much about, well, the first one it was talking about how plants and alcohol and drugs affect your consciousness, and the most recent one was about other little pitfalls and traps you might fall into spiritually. And I'm wondering why those 2 came out when they did, but it very much feels like the things that no longer hold a high vibration or a positive charge, we could say, are very much being asked to be let go of, to be released, especially at a certain level of consciousness, at a certain level of evolution. I guess it's not for everybody. I guess it's certainly not for everybody right now. But I think for those of us who are consciously attempting to bring about more positivity, higher vibration, a smoother evolution here on the planet, I think that those things are being asked of us. Because I was wondering why those things came through now, but just sitting in this energy, this very intense energy that's happening on the planet right now, this resurgence, this new beginning, it really feels like a new beginning. Does it feel like a new beginning to you? It just feels like such a new beginning to me. But that we're really here for it. We're really here to let go of the patterns and the programs and the old belief systems that are just holding us back from the next level of evolution, the next level of consciousness. Letting go of these ways that keep us stuck or slow us down or trap us. Because it's time to move forward. It's an interesting moment because our souls are pre-written with our journey here in this incarnation, and all incarnations, not just this one. But here we're talking about this particular incarnation. So imagine for a second that your soul pretty much knew the layout, the blueprint of what was going to happen in this incarnation, and then you come into embodiment and you're forced to forget, so that you can still go through the experiences you need to go through, the growth you need to have, the choices you need to make, etc., etc. But like, imagine that all these souls on the planet right now knew that all of this, what we're experiencing right now in this middle of 2021, and, you know, starting way before now, but, you know, 2020, 2021, all of our souls knew that this was going to happen on some level. And so all of our souls know what is going to happen next and after next. And if you believe that you have that blueprint, that your soul holds that blueprint, and that there is something bigger going on here than just this human lifetime. And of course, I'm not a YOLO person. I mean, you only live once. Are you serious? I've never heard something more ridiculous. You only live once. I mean, you could alter that to you only live once in this particular specific incarnation at this time on this planet. Sure. And I guess that makes sense if you're going to say that. But like, you only live once. We hold so much in our humongous, bright, shiny souls of all of our past lifetimes and all of the eons and eons of information in different places that we've been, and lifetimes and experiences and everything. Our souls hold all of it. And so whatever happens next is supposed to happen. And because it's very clear to me that there is light on the other side of where we are now, it's helped me to remember to trust everything that's unfolding exactly as it is, instead of getting caught up in, I guess for me, it's feeling kind of sad that people are still so polarized. I mean, the vaxxers versus the anti-vaxxers, and the Dems versus the Republicans, and the right versus the left, and the cities versus the country, and all of it. I'm ready for unity. That's what this is. I'm ready for unity consciousness. Unity consciousness. The last time I had a past life regression, I think I've only had those twice. Oh no, it was the opening of the Akashic Records, or past life regression, or both. I think we did both. I had this memory of a lifetime where I was in unity consciousness. And lifetime, I use that word loosely because I didn't have a body. And it wasn't like a planet, like in the conventional sense. It was literally a consciousness. It was a feeling of, it was the closest thing I could describe it to as being what it must feel like to be in a school of fish in the ocean when they all move at the same time. That is how that lifetime in unity consciousness felt. And it was the most incredible feeling. And it might sound weird to you on this individualistic earth that we live on, where we are all very separate, very individual from each other, and we pride ourselves on that. We pride ourselves on having our autonomy and our uniqueness and our independence, and all of those things are great and grand, and that's part of the reason we came here. But this unity consciousness that I was able to experience and re-experience and re-remember was a reminder of where we're going. And I don't know that we get there in this conventional lifetime, this human lifetime, but the memory of that feeling was so powerful, to feel that unity and just to feel one with everything around you. Oh, if we're heading in that direction, I really am excited. I'm excited anyway, but there's something comfortable in the separateness that we all experience being on this planet, because that's the kind of planet it is. It's dualistic. It's not unity consciousness yet. But if we are going back to that, it is such a beautiful feeling. Such a wonderful, beautiful feeling. Miraculously on target. I'm just so excited for the future. I'm excited for the next few years and decades, because I have no idea what it's going to look like. I feel like even when I was growing up, you kind of know what it's going to look like, right? But we're at this moment right now where like it could look completely different in a year or 2 years or 10 years. So part of my message with this most interesting of episodes right now, it's rather more free-flowy than my usual episodes. But you can focus and guide your life and your energy into exactly what you want it to look like. And it's a really powerful moment to do that. And I think I just experienced a small taste of that, yes, at the fair of all places, right? But just walking in there and just going on the rides for free, and then just playing this game and like totally nailing it on the second time that I've ever even shot a crossbow, okay? Like I grew up with BB guns and like regular archery, but like crossbows, come on. I think we're in a very important moment for manifestation. So my suggestion would be to speak, write, draw, sing, make out of clay everything that you want to manifest for yourself, but also take the extra step and do all those things for what you want to see in the world. Think about what you want to see. See what in your mind what you want to see. Draw it, speak it, sing it. Because I think the veil is really thin right now. I feel like the guides are right there. They've been a lot louder for me the last few days, and they've always been rather loud of late, but even more so. Like they're right there. So definitely ask for guidance if you need it. And then just use this time right now, to envision what you want to see. Yes, for yourself, but expand. What do you want to see for the world? And try to not be polarizing in what you want. Try to see it from a unity level of consciousness. This is interesting because I don't usually make specific asks like this. This is just coming through. Create what you would see through a unity state of consciousness, not from a separation or an individual point of view of consciousness. It's an interesting ask. And if all else fails, just surrender. Surrender and remember that we are miraculously on target. Miraculous because we have the universe, we have the angels, we have the master angels, we have God, we have higher level beings and consciousnesses from other places around the universes and galaxies helping us right now, here, helping us. We're miraculously on target. I'll leave it there for today. I hope you all enjoyed that episode. It was an interesting message that came through, very unexpected time. Such a happy moment, honestly, such a happy moment with some friends that I hardly ever get to see, but mean a lot to me, back at my own county fair that I grew up going to. So please take what you need to take from this episode, leave the rest, and thank you so much for listening. Today's bonus content is going to be a series of affirmations that will help us to remain on target. So if you are interested in that, just check it out at patreon.com/letsgetmeta. I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you again for listening. Stay positive, stay safe, and stay meta.
The Let's Get Metaphysical podcast is an Up, and Awaken production. Our intention is to raise the vibration of the planet by sharing, validating, and normalizing spiritual and metaphysical experiences. If you are ready to raise your vibration, you might enjoy our free Let's Get Meta Master Clearing. To receive the Master Clearing or to learn more about the podcast, visit letsgetmeta.com. The show is produced and hosted by Renata Maniaci. You can access more awakening content, join our membership community, or become one of our angel donors by visiting upandawaken.com. Thank you for listening. Stay meta.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.